app based quiz. Have you had a chance to take a quiz on the Safe app?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So anyways, one email will send to you how to download the Safe app. And Safe app is really safe because if you try to visit any site, not even Google, any site, it will pop up and it will show in our record. So download the Safe app, take the sample quiz. All that will be done this week. Fifth, we will have a test. They are on the topics which are all covered till 30. Okay? And that will be multiple choice question. All the PPTs will be uploaded on the Moodle. I hope you are tracking your PPTs on the Moodle. If you have not started, get familiarize yourself. That is also part of it. Is it? Any question? After that will be about 30 minutes. And then we'll also discuss the answers. Any question on that? Doing fine? Okay. So today's session is very special. We have Professor Prabhat Pankaj. Professor Prabhat Pankaj has been trained as economist. So he really understands the management and the investment and the returns. And this investment which you are making in terms of taking this course, I thought he will be the best person to ensure the return you get. And in the second week of the course, we discussed that all management starts with the management self. Okay? All material, machine, all that is about self. And he has amazing combination of expertise. He is trained as an economist and he has worked in the field of happiness and well-being. You might be aware, how many of you are aware that there is one country in the world which do not track their progress based on GDP, but they track their progress on the happiness index. Everybody knows that. So he has worked over there for 7 years as an academic. So my 100 rupees, whoever is counting. He has worked there, seen that system very closely, and currently he is leading a very reputed management institute. They hosted currently in Jaipur, but the institute has very significant presence in North India. So thanks very much, Professor, for taking time out. He was on a professional visit, and we could get 1 hour from him for the session.
Hello, good morning, all of you. Good morning. वह यकीनन किसी मासूम का तातिल होगा हमने उस शख्स को हंसते हुए बहुत कम देखा है. You have to smile, you have to wear a smile, you have to laugh. That's very natural to human being. Happiness is actually a domain very, very interestingly given only to human beings. आपने किसी गधे को हंसते हुए देखा है कभी? नहीं हंसते हुए देखा ना? तो जो लोग नहीं हंसते हैं वो कुछ भी नहीं कहा. Right? So, what is the clue to happiness? Sometimes it's very difficult to understand what happiness is. The natural question that comes to us is that, is my happiness your happiness? How do we look at happiness? That's one question. Second is, happiness is something very interesting, it's elusive, it's mental. How can we work on happiness? Is it possible to work on happiness? Can we actually enhance happiness in our life if you understand few things like parameters, always the happiness depends. Is there any statistical analysis that has been done to understand this? The answer to the first question is that it's not that elusive, because we are now living in a world where the research is now focusing more on positive emotions. We are not focusing that much on negative emotions, especially post-COVID. If you look at the trend of research all over the world, you will find interestingly that a lot of research is now focusing on positive emotions. Like quantum physics, a lot of experiments have been done, and they refer to some of the experiments done in quantum physics as well. Look at neuroscience, how neuroscience is actually coming up with lots of research. Psychology, of course, the economics. There are some clues lies in history. There are some clues lies in philosophy. sociology. So what we have done is that we have combined the wisdom from all these areas coming forward, right? And then combined them into a course called the Science of Well-being and Happiness. And we are teaching this course in our institute, right? That's one thing. So happiness is not that undefinable anymore. We can actually work on happiness. So why have not we been able to do it is our approach towards happiness. If you look at the conventional wisdom of happiness, the conventional wisdom of happiness says that, well, anything good that happens to you, don't share it with anyone. You know, that's what our dadimas used to say, right? जो चीज़ आपके साथ अच्छा हो रहा है उसको शेयर मत करना, तब तक नहीं शेयर करना जब तक ये हो नहीं रहा, otherwise it will go. So that's the kind of pessimistic view we had about talking about happiness. So we are scared in a way to talk about happiness because we think that it will be good. It's like butterfly, right? It's like butterfly. More we chase, the more it eludes us. But the happiness is also like butterfly. When you keep quiet, don't do anything, the butterfly will come very quietly and sit on your soul. Does that happen? Yeah, of course it happens, right? If suppose you like some points which I am making in front of you, all you have to do is to respond to that and say, oh yes, this is fine, this is good, right? We're dealing with live human beings. It should be, we are not a robot sitting over here. So how do you express yourself? Responding to my positive, confirmation of what I'm saying. We'll say, yes, like this. Would you like to do that? Are you ready for that? All of you, please do that. Let's do a practice. Yes. Yes. It's not that always you like the point out. You will be disagreement with what I'm saying. A lot of disagreement. And I will promote you to disagree with me at many points of time. So when you disagree, you don't like, then you don't have to do this. Right? This is affirmation. So you have to do, no, it's not going to work. Right? So I'm going to do that. Let's do practice. No, it's not going to work. Yeah, do it? No, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. All right. So may I ask all of you to raise your hand like this. Just raise your hand like this. Towards the wide open ceiling and look up. Try and look up. Like this. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. And try and look up. Okay, look up. I should have known that. I'm reading this genius. Okay, all right. Raise your hand, look up, and listen to me carefully. And try to be sad. Try to be sad. Force yourself to be sad. Look up and force yourself to be sad. Put on your hand. All of you, put on your hand. Is it possible to be sad? It's very difficult to be sad. It's difficult to be sad. So when you do this and you raise your hand like this, it's so difficult to be sad. Even if you convince yourself that I want to be sad, you cannot be sad. Right? But now, do like this. Close your hand. Close your hand. Look down. Try to be sad. This is so easy to be sad. Right? Get back. It's so easy to be sad. When you do like this, when your body is converging, when your body is moving inside, you're closing yourself. You're closing yourself. Put your head down. It's easy to be with the emotion called sadness. But when you're opening yourself up, right? Looking up, brightening your eyes, is so difficult to be sad. You will always be happy. So the clue to happiness is how you open up yourself, how you actually open up and not allow yourself. You must have seen a football player or maybe a cricket player. When they score a goal, what is that they do? Yes, like this. right? Everything is open. They open their senses, they open their mouth, they open their eyes, they open their arms. The more you open yourself, the better chance you have to be happy. That's one clue I gave you. Yay! Can you do that? Have you got that? No? No, ye nahi chalega. Right? What is your response? Yay! Do it! Alright, very good. So you appreciated one point. Let me give you another clue how it works. Let's say I have written something over here. How do you read this? A, B, C. A, B, C. So all of us are going to read this A, B, C. But now I'm going to put up something over here. According to 1516, how many of you are still going to read it A, B, C? Are you going to read it differently? Any of you? 1, 3, C. 1, 3, C, or 1, 13, C. Some people like that. A, 1, A. Are you going to read it B still? 14, 15, 16. How many of you would like to read it like A, 13, C? Very good. Very good. Very good. So, you know what happens here? When this was not there was no doubt in our mind that it is A, B, C, right? And the moment I put this up over here, your minds have started thinking in two ways, right? Is your mind earlier? Is your mind now? Earlier, your mind actually did not see this, and therefore there was no doubt about the fact that it's ABC. But the moment I gave you a context, we call it context. So I gave you a context, and your mind started thinking differently. Your mind is in doubt. Oh, it could be A13C because it's 14, 15, 16 over here. This is called nudge. This is called nudge. Nudge is very powerful. We think that we are leading our life. We think that we are making our decisions, while the nudges are actually forcing us to do certain things. In a way, it is happening. It's not in our control. I'm not doing it. It's actually the nudges which is making me do. Nudges works through your mind. So nudges actually nudges your mind to think different. You understand? The nudges are so powerful. And therefore, here also lies the clue to happiness. So if nudges can take me this side, nudges can also take me this side. It depends on how you construct your nudges. Right? You can construct your nudges which opens up, which makes you open up, which makes you do more, which makes you more aware. It will allow you to be happy. But if you construct your nudges like it makes you sad, it makes you inward, it makes you close, it will make you always sad. That's how the power of nudges is. So I'll just do one simple exercise with all of you. You're all engineers, I'm sure you are going to do that. Here is a bat, listen to me very carefully. Here is a bat and here is a ball. And the combined price of bat and ball is 110 rupees. And if the price of bat is 100 rupees more than the ball, then what is the price of the ball? Or engineers?
5.
5, right? 5. Who said 5? Yeah, okay. Anybody? On this side. 5. You're also 5. Anyone? How come it is 5? Can you tell? How many of you think that it's 10? Quickly, you have to respond very quickly. Yeah. Oh, you're all sitting back, you're not reacting, that's a good sign, actually. That's a very good sign. When somebody said 5, you were thinking about 10, but you said, oh, okay, let's sit back, because somebody has said 5, so let me do the calculations, right? And because you are in a particular profession, you are dealing with numbers, you know it very well. So, you have this tendency of looking into B3, right? But in my experiment of this question, on many people, right from the CEOs to the students, most of them thought that it's going to be 10. Answer is going to be 10 because there is something called perception and there is something called fact. So the question is, are we leaving by perception or are we given by fact? So when your mind actually gave you the idea that it could be 10, because the question actually prompts you to think that it could be 10, your mind is going by perception. But when you started looking at the calculations, if the calculations, oh, it cannot be 10, it actually has to be 5. Because if the ball is not 5, then how can it be 100 rupees more than the ball? And the total price is fixed 110, so it has to be 5. So it needs some kind of calculations, that kind of brain. So which brain actually has told you, the brain has two parts, left and right, your brain. Which brain has told you that it's going to be 5? Your left brain told you that it has to be 5. If your left brain is more active, you will come to the conclusion that it's 5. Because it always goes back to the calculations. But if you're guided more by the right brain, it will go by more by perception. It will say, oh, 10. It has to be 10. So we live by perception, we also live by fact. We live by the right brain, we live by left brain. Right? We live by right brain, we live by left brain. The combination of the two is required for happiness. But if you are too much living with left brain, then you have a problem. If you're too much living with the right brain, you have a problem. What is the problem in right brain with the perception? Because it's going to take you somewhere like always to do some kind of reaction. Perception leads to reaction. You see something, you quickly react. Or you see something, you read something, you saw some video, you made up your mind. Oh, this is like that, this is like that, this is like that. You know, all these kind of coming from your reaction, which is basically guided by your perception. But here is the fact, so this is guided by, it actually prompts you to go for responding to the situation. Which one is better for life? Reacting to the situation or responding to the situation? I don't know, but it has to be a combination of both. Sometimes we need to react to the situation, sometimes we need to respond to the situation. But the balancing of the left and right brain is very important. If you go always by the reaction, then you are in trouble. Right? You're always going by the perception, you are in trouble. But you're going always by the facts is also going to lead you somewhere trouble. Right? In trouble. Right? So pick up any number from 1 to 9 and keep it in your mind. You did that? Any number from 1 to 9, keep it in your mind. You're done? Alright, multiply that number with 9. You have a double digit now with you. So add these two digits. Whatever double digit you got, you just add them up. You got again a single digit. You come back to the single digit. All of you? Right. Now do minus 5. Do minus 5. So you have some kind of single digit with you. Now, what is going to here is that you have to pick up the equivalent alphabet. Like if you have 1, that means A. If you have 2, that means B. Like this. Any number, you just pick up the corresponding alphabet and keep that in your mind. All of you got the alphabet? Alright. Think about the name of the country with that alphabet. Any country you want to go. Any country you want to think about. So you have a country name with you, all of you. Now, look at the country name and look at the last alphabet of this country name. Like if suppose India, then last word is A. So from that last word of the country name, think about an animal. Any animal that you would like to think about. Now you have a country, you have an animal. Now look at the last word of the animal, the last alphabet of the animal word, and then think about a fruit, right? Any fruit that you like. So you have the country, you have now an animal, and you also have a fruit. All right? All right. So may I request all of you to rise if you have actually gone to Denmark. Anyone who has picked up Denmark, please rise. Stand up, please stand up. about to talk, but when I say hello, like this, all of you have to stop talking. Is that okay? Is that a deal? Yeah? All of you have to stop talking immediately. Is that a deal? So, you have gone to Denmark, you saw kangaroo, you also have actually, picked up orange. Is that what? Is this a surprise? I'm not a mentalist, right? I can show you many experiments like this, which will force you to think that I'm a mentalist. I'm not a mentalist. It's just algorithm. It is all algorithm. Okay? It is all algorithm. Try and understand this point. It's very vital for happiness. It's all algorithm. So pick up any number from 1 to 9. The algorithm was created like that, 1 to 9. Suppose you picked up 5. 5 multiplied by 9. You have a number, right? 45. So any number from 1 to 9, you can multiply by 9 and you will add them together. It's going to come back to 9 again. You do minus 5, so all of you had 4. And there is no other, and then you pick up D, 4 means D. And there is no other name of the country other than Denmark which will come to your mind. If your mind is very creative, then you will think about Dominican Republic, but hardly actually, we don't have this kind of people on the earth who will think Dominican Republic by D, right? If you're thinking Dominican Republic by D, that means you're very, very creative, right? Your right brain is absolutely fantastic. That we don't have, right? So Dominican Republic is not going to come. So the Dominican Republic is not going to come any day now. So it's going to be Denmark. And then K, kangaroo. I don't think there is anybody who will say koala. I mean, how many of you have got koala? Very good. Give a clap to them. All right. And O stands for orange anyway, right? So there's no other start. So it's all algorithm. So here is a story. Here is a story of a Zen horse rider, an old Chinese saying. So Zen horse rider was going somewhere, he was riding on a horse, and somebody asked him, yeah, horse rider, where are you going? And then this horse rider said, I don't know, I mean, ask my horse, how will I know where I'm going? It's the horse which is taking me, right? This message here is that we are making decisions, we think that we are making choices, we think that we are a thinking person, we have our own choices, but it's not. Actually, it is the horse which is taking us somewhere. It is our algorithm which is taking us somewhere, right? So we are not going anywhere. We are going exactly to the place where the algorithm wants me to go. You understand this point? It's not me, it's the horse which is taking me somewhere. Our mind has got, mind is very powerful, mind has got two commentaries which is constantly going on. Constantly going on. There is a chattering going on in our mind. We are sitting here, but our mind is actually chattering. It's thinking something, it's talking something, it's going somewhere else, right? So the neuroscientist, Richard Davidson, asked this question to his audience. What are you doing right now? And his audience said, we are here, we are listening to you. So if I ask you the question, what are you doing right now? You will say, we are here, we are listening to you. That's what his audience said. Then he asked the second question. Where is your mind right now? And the 62% of his audience said that their mind is not here, their mind is somewhere else. Right? The mind is somewhere else. If I put a poll here, the result will not be very different. Our mind actually, we are here, but our mind is not. That's called attention deficit. You must actually be aware about this fact. It's called attention deficit. Attention deficit. The larger the attention deficit you have, the greater the probability that you will fall into trouble. Your physical problems like anxiety, a lot of other problems, and when you grow up, then people get diabetes, you get lifestyle diseases. Major source is anxiety. And the anxiety has its root in its attention deficit. So if you have larger attention deficit, you are more likely to be falling into this trap, right? And your happiness is going to compromise, your well-being is going to. And this is happening because algorithm is taking us somewhere. We are not going anywhere. It's not we who are going, it's the horse which is taking me somewhere. And if your horse is taking you somewhere, you are not actually controlling the horse, then what will happen? The horse will make you fall somewhere, right? At some place you are going to fall from a horse. And that's what is going to happen to us. So when you become 40s, when you become 50s, there is something called midlife crisis. We have earned a lot in our life, we have big house, big car, big good family, but still people commit suicide. Have you seen that happen? It's algorithm which is taking it. You don't have a command on the horse. You don't have a command on the horse. Your attention deficit is pretty large. So how do you deal with this issue? And what are the other dimensions of happiness? I'm going to talk about that. And I'll also give you a kind of action point which you can actually understand it pretty well in a very simplified way without getting into the deep research. Let's do some arrival practice, and that will be the beginning of bridging the attention deficit gap. Arrival practice. Sit back, relax on the chair. Just sit back, relax on the chair. Close your eyes. Sit back, just relax. In whatever way you think that you relax, just relax. Close your eyes. Just close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out. As deep as you can make it. Focus on your breathing. Take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And focus on your breathing. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Focus on your breathing. Alright, come back, open your eyes. Now you have arrived. You have arrived. And you must have witnessed that after such a small 30 seconds, I mean less than 30 seconds, of deep breath that you have taken, your mind is chattering has stopped quite a great deal. Now your mind is not actually where you are. Your mind is here. You're also able to hear the walk on this podium. When I was walking there, you must have heard my steps, right? Earlier you were not. Now you'll be able to feel the environment. You'll be able to focus on what I'm saying. Improved attention. And that's the clue to good life. A good life is about paying attention. Good life is about living in present. Good life is about feeling what you're doing. Good life is about stopping the chattering of the mind and bringing it back on where you are. Right? That's what the good life is. So let's go ahead. Wellness is our responsibility, is it? Is there anyone who says that wellness is not my responsibility? It's your wellness, it's your responsibility. You're all the CEO already. Let me tell you, you have a company. You're running a company. You're already a CEO. If you think that you're going to be a CEO, that's mistaken, because maybe another company you can acquire and become a CEO, a chairman, but you're already having a company and you're already a CEO. Then you will ask, what is the name of my company? I don't know what my company. I'll tell you the name of your company. The name of your company is My Life. Who is the CEO of this company? My Life. Is there any doubt on this? That I'm the CEO of my company, which is named My Life. And then if I ask you, what is happening in your company? Is your company doing well? Whose responsibility is it to make your company do well? It's my responsibility, is it? And therefore, wellness is our responsibility, nobody else's. And it's not very, it's not a bad idea, or it's not a very euphoric to talk about the fact that how much time do you give to your wellness? If I ask you this $1 million question. We do allocation of time on everything except looking at our wellness, which is the most important thing. Because it's my company, I'm the CEO, and I have to make sure that my life actually works well. Think about the scenario. You become 50 and your health is very poor. And you have heart disease, you have diabetes, you have this, you have that, and then you have millions of rupees because you have spent all your time to earn that, and you lost it, you didn't actually pay attention to your health. What will happen to your life? Is it going to be a happy life? I mean, definitely, you have to rethink about it. Is it? You have to rethink about it. And therefore, allocating a small bit of time from what you have right now in your well-being is the worth investment. It's a big investment that you will be doing. Because the return that is going to give you when you will be 40s and 50s on time, you will not be able to imagine what kind of return is going to give you. Life is good, so it started with Epicurus. He started a school of happiness. He said, happiness is man's greatest aim in life. If this is true, then what are we doing about happiness? The preamble of the American Constitution says, we are in the pursuit of happiness. And after several years down the line, several decades down the line, people have started asking, what has happened to this pursuit of happiness? And people have started doing a lot of work around it. And it was found that in the last 50 years, the GDP per capita of US has increased several-fold, but their happiness on the average has stagnated. What is this whole idea of development all about? I have decided to be happy because it's good for my head. Voltaire, he said, health and happiness are the two legs on which the life moves. And if you miss on any of it, you're gone. Right? And what is the right time to build this health and happiness? The two legs is this, the age in which you begin. And that's why it makes a lot of sense for you to hear what I'm going to say today. A moment of happiness. When you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you, a joy. Many of us have this experience that when you do something, eureka moment, or maybe you do something which you really like, and you think that is, this is my deepest accomplishment, I did it, this kind of a moment. There will be a river that moves inside you, right? There's a river that moves, and that's the river is happiness, joy. Right? Quantum physics says that we are all bundle of energy, nothing else. It's all energy, it's nothing else. There's no matter versus energy, it's all energy actually. There's no matter. What if this class gets over and after that you start thinking about the class? You will not be able to relive this class because this class is gone. And it is in there, where is this moment going to be? This moment is going to be in your mind. So when you start recalling this class, sitting with your friends and listening to me, it's all going to be in your mind. What if somebody says that his whole life is like that? It's just a memory. Who knows that I'm real? Who knows that you are real sitting over there? Think about that. The world is moving towards that. You're going to have several worlds, and you can teleport yourself to this world, that world, that world. Not very far. Metaverse is already there. Avatars are moving around. You all know that. Who knows? Right? Who knows? Be happy, my child. It is the surest way of progress. Somebody asked, progress is important. Yeah, of course it is important. What is the meaning of progress? The meaning of progress is money, position, reputation, car, family. All these are good, but these are all dopamine-based progress. You know about dopamine. I'll talk about dopamine in a while. The dopamine is when you actually feel like achieving and feeling happy. It's like eating ice cream. So when you eat ice cream, you feel so good about it. You love ice cream, that's why you are eating ice cream. You love money, that's why you're chasing it. You love reputation, that's why you're chasing it. You love being patted at the back and say, oh, you've done a good job. You're chasing it. Because all dopamine actually gives you a lot of pleasure. And it's all dopamine. But the problem with the dopamine is not bad. But problem is that it's actually like, you like ice cream, you eat it. So it's not, that is not the end of it. You need another ice cream, you need another ice cream, you need another, all through the life. That's what the dopamine does. So if you get a raise of 5% this year, you're happy. Next year, if it is 5% or less, you're not happy. You want more than 5%. That's what dopamine does. It puts you on a hedonic treadmill. There's a treadmill. It's called a hedonic treadmill, and it puts you on that. The more the dopamine chase, it puts you over there, and it asks you to run. And you started running, and you reach nowhere. That's what dopamine does. I'll talk to you on more on dopamine a little bit, but I also talk about oxytocin. Have you heard about that?
Yes.
I'll talk about endorphin. Have you heard about that? I will talk about I will talk about serotonin. Have you heard about this? Let's understand these, how these chemicals are acting. One of the problems that we are facing these days is that our body actually has very less of endorphin. Very less of endorphin. The level of endorphin in our body on average is going down. And why it is going down, you have to understand that. And that there lies the clues to good life and happiness. And what it does is that, in a way neurologically, the happiness is defined, I'll show you that. Happiness is defined as a neurological phenomenon where the molecule of the protein myosin is carrying the ball of the endorphin into the inner part of your parietal cortex, brain, the inner part of your brain, the parietal cortex. And that produces a feeling of happiness. So if you don't have enough endorphin in your body, what will it carry to your brain, right? And sheer lack of endorphin is going to snatch away all the happiness in your life. You will always be sad. That's going to happen. So, happiness in the era of progress. We have already seen US economy. Then look at this statistical work. 3 different ways of survey, more than 50 years of data. Average happiness has not increased. It's actually at best remained stagnant. It has actually fallen. So that's what happened in the economy. And no surprising that the Yale has the most popular course called happiness. Your well-being indicators. So I'm going to give you an assessment. You can take out your copy, pen and pencil, and start assessing yourself. Where do you stand on well-being? So this is also going to give you a clue what are the parameters we need to work. Alright, so here is a parameter on fitness, and there are 3 parameters. You can do it quickly. If your sport is never, so your point is 1. There is 2, sometimes often 4, and regularly 5. So you can note down the point. On each one of the statements, you have to note down the point. Any point that is relevant to you. And it should be your assessment because it's your time. Alright. I exercise for at least half an hour, 3 to 4 times a week. Hello? Don't talk. Yeah. Good. Exercise for at least half an hour, 3 to 4 times. I need at least 1 hour a day. I will explain what that means. I get good quality sleep 78 hours. These 3 are the basic parameters for maintaining a good physical health. Alright, that is done. Done with this? You have noted down your points? Let me explain you how to do exercise. So exercise is about the fact that when you 20 minutes minimum, all of you have to do it, and you should do it if you are not doing it. Pick this up because it's a trend and it doesn't happen. Harvard study, which is one of the longest longitudinal study available on this earth, 70 years. This study continued for 70 years. 3 generations of resources have gone into doing this study. They tracked 269 lives right from 19 to their death. One of the conclusions of this study is that the people who have actually picked up regular exercising have lived longer and lived happy. That's as simple as it is. So try and understand. When you walk, you have to take a slightly longer step. So you just stretch your step. That means it becomes a brisk walk. We call it brisk walk. You all understand. So don't walk like this. That's one simple principle how you walk. Second, don't put your music instrument on your ear, because when you are walking, your attention should be on yourself. Your attention should not be on anybody else. Never walk with a dog and think that, oh, you have done your walk. I do every day walk. How do you walk? I walk with my dog. उसे पता नहीं चलता dog आपको टहला रहा है, आप dog को टहला रहे हैं. Alright, 4-5 group बना के टहले. How do you walk? I walk with my friends. So 5-6 friends के साथ walk कर रहे हैं और कहानियाँ चल रही हैं और एक दूसरे की बुराई कर रहे हैं. So that's not how you walk. You should be a solo walker. Solo walker. Focus on yourself. Walk like this. And then you are going to experience something called runner's high. There is a phenomenon called runner's high. And if you experience that in your body is actually already started producing a lot of endorphin. Right? So if you walk like that, your body is going to get more endorphin. I'll tell you what endorphin is going to do to you. It's a miracle that is going to happen to you if you start getting endorphin. Second, I eat at least healthy meal. It's a long debate. There are two questions on eating. One is what you eat, another is how you eat. So I'm just leaving this apart, what you eat, because time is very little. So forget about it. Whatever you eat, keep eating. That's my advice. Second, how you eat is more important. So you have to understand how you eat. So I'll just give you a simple clue to life in the wake of paucity of time. One is you get your food from two sources. One is called the plant-based food, and then it's called the animal-based food. And these are the only two sources that you get your food. So all you have to do is as follows. As your age increases, you have to increase the amount of plant-based food and reduce the amount of animal-based food. That's what you have to do. And if you are able to do it, and by the time you become 40, cross 40, then what you should do, you should bring this balance into 50 and 50%. So your 50% of your food should be plant-based, 50% should be meat-based, or animal-based. Milk, you should give it up. So if you are habitual of eating milk or drinking milk, gradually you should give it up. Don't drink milk. Milk is not made for the human body. Milk is not made for human body. And you can ask questions on that. I'll answer that question very happily. But these are some of the clues are given. But I got a good hour of sleep. 7 to 8 hours sleep is so important for human body. Can we have question answering there? Note down the question. I'll get back. I got good quality sleep, 7 to 8 hours. How sleep is important? Sleep actually, when you go to the bed, go to the bed and you fall asleep quickly, that means there's something wrong with your body. But when you go to the bed and the sleep takes about 10 to 15 minutes to come, it comes slowly. That means your body is working nicely. And the sleep happens in different phases. So when you reach the third phase, that is the last phase of the sleep, there you see the dream. Right? So when you see the dream and wake up, because when you see the dream, it's time to wake up, actually. So dream means your body is saying, wake up, wake up, wake up. And when you wake up, some of the dreams you actually remember. And that's the reason why you do that, because the dream happens in the last phase. So if you see the dream and wake up, it's a good sign. It's a good sign for the body. If you do not see dream, it's not a good sign for the body. And if you see bad dreams, there's something wrong somewhere, you have to actually do more damage. Hello? एक बार कर दे ऐसे सही जा रहा है? Fantastic. Let's go to the next one because I have very limited time. I can go on like this. The second is very important. It's called resilience, and there are 4 statements for you. Do your assessment. Do your assessment briefly. I recover quickly after the setback means I generally get that. So I get a setback, so I don't succumb to that. I take time and then I recover myself from it. Right? Quickly means I mean generally I have a tendency of coming back. I don't. I'm comfortable asking for help. I usually work towards my solutions and maintain my calm by doing some problems. I recover quickly from the setback. Let me give you an example. You have done your assessment. Let me give you an example. So here is your girlfriend or boyfriend. And then, you do not go to any new movie without your friend. because you have made it a practice that if there is a new movie, two of you will know. And that's what you have been doing for several years. So here is a new movie that has come. Hello, Roxanne today. Here's a new movie that has come. And you called your friend, boy or girl, right? And your friend said, "Aaj nahi aa sakte yaar, kal chalte." And you said, "Okay, fine, chalo kal chalte." And that's what you did. And next day, जैसे ही आपने सुबह मोबाइल खोलने के साथ ही इंस्टाग्राम दिख गया, उसमें एक फोटो दिख गया उनका पोस्ट किया हुआ। वो अगर आपका कोई गर्लफ्रेंड है तो वो एक लड़के के साथ, और कोई बॉयफ्रेंड है तो लड़की के साथ बैठा हुआ किसी होटल में खाना खा। And they have posted it on Instagram. What will happen to your mind? How will you react? It's a setback. It's an example of setback actually. How will you react? ये पता नहीं ऐसे कैसे कर सकते? मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों होगा? कुछ लोग तो ये भी कहेंगे, पता नहीं मेरा लाइफ ही ऐसा है, हर जगह मेरे साथ ऐसे ही होगा। Hello, do this. Okay, feel free to do this. Nobody is stopping you. If you like it, open up yourself, right? Open up yourself. If you feel like doing this, must do it, right? बड़ों को खोल ज़माना उड़ान देखता है, बड़ों को खोल ज़माना उड़ान देखता है, ज़मीन पर बैठकर क्या आसमान You're back. I understand. So now your friend is coming tomorrow to you. Now your friend, he has come to you and said, यार ऐसा था ना कि मेरा छोटा भाई या छोटी बहन आ गई और उसने कहा कि मेरा कोई बड़ा इशू चल रहा है तो आई वांट टू डिस्कस। तो मैंने कहा चलो रेस्टोरेंट में खाना खाते हैं वहीं पर डिस्कस कर लेते हैं। तो दैट्स व्हाट आई नो आई डू नॉट कम हियर। व्हाट विल हैपन टू योर माइंड नाउ? What has happened to your mind now? अब आप क्या करोगे? आप कहेंगे, आप एम्पैथी दिखाएंगे, सिंपैथी दिखाएंगे, साथ में ये भी कहेंगे, अरे यार कोई जरूरत हो तो बताना, मैं हूँ यहाँ पर तुम्हारे। You know, you were the same one. You were the same one in the first place, and you are the same one in the second place. What has happened to your mind? Your mind got agitated. Your mind is not so much agitated. What has happened to your mind? In the first place, try to understand this phenomenon. This is a very peculiar phenomenon which is not letting us, be calm, be ourselves, be humane, be happy. This is not letting us do. And please try to understand this phenomenon. It's very, very important for all of you. In the first place, you were addressing somebody inside you. And it was all me. मेरे साथ ऐसा कैसे होता है, मेरे लिए कैसे करता है, मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों कर सकता है, मुझे ऐसा कैसे कह सकता है, मैं तो अभी इसको छोड़ दूंगा, मैं कभी इसका चेहरा नहीं देखूंगा, मैं everywhere I मैं and who is this man inside? It's called ego. ego. In all of us there is this person, man, which is called ego. And what we do, and the ego always wants to be right. The problem with the ego is that it always wants to be right. And what we do, we get up in the morning, go to the bed in the night, and all through the day, we actually work to satisfy this person which is inside me, right? That you're right. अब दूसरे में क्या हो गया? दूसरे में हुआ कि the moment is from me, you have changed your perspective. So earlier it was me, you changed your perspective. You just change this me to we, and your perspective actually changed. So you change this M to W, and your perspective changed. Now, in the second time, when he came, you started talking to him, like you started looking at this side. It's not me, right? It's we. The moment you start doing this, your mind stops doing the agitation. Yes, sir?
Just 2 minutes are left.
Okay. All right, so we have very little time. So we'll finish it here in the social, okay? I have lots of things to share with you, but anyway, we'll complete this here. Social, can you do the assessment again, Prabhat? I have enough personal time to do things I like. I share my problems and struggles with others. I consistently take time out for connecting with friends. I'm usually comfortable expressing my views. Do the calculations, do the totaling. How much score you got? Altogether, how much? Like 3 to 8, 4 to 9, 4 to 10, 3. When you pull up your stocks, you have to do a lot. Keep going, you're on the right rock track, and keep going for a rock star. So how many rock stars do you have in this hall? Can you raise your hand? Yeah, fantastic. Give a clap to the rock stars. But the number of rock stars are very, very less. Very, very less. And the secret of managing the overall well-being is what? Consistency. This is the word. It's a very important word. So if you're giving half an hour to yourself, you have to give it consistently. Consistency is the key. If you started long, do it consistently. Right? So that's what is the meaning of becoming CEO of your life. Alright. Thank you so much.